up, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of the Dense Pixels podcast. I'm your host, Brad, joined by my co-host, Micah.
Hey.
And Terrence.
What up? It's 100 degrees outside, and my AC isn't the greatest, so I'm really fucking hot right now. That's it.
Don't you have a fan?
I think that's maybe. I don't
know. Invest in some additional cooling.
Yeah.
Your AC's not gonna work. I'm doing fine.
Yeah, fuck you. I ain't answering that. But anyway, it's very hot.
We are back with you this week to talk about it's a light news week. It's a light news week, and question of the week, we have you giving us your 2-sentence game reviews. Did anybody play anything new? Because I haven't.
New? Not new.
Not new.
But I all right, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and talk about this since no one's played anything.
Might as well, because we got nothing else. So
yeah. So 2 years ago, a video game was released.
Oh yes.
If you want to call it look, I enjoyed it for what it was when it came out 2 years ago. It was released, and it was not even remotely close to being what you would consider a finished product. To me, personally, even though I liked it, it didn't.
Is this that beat 'em up?
It didn't live up to the hype at all that they set up for it. 2 years later, after 3 updates and an update that's coming out to next month, or this month actually, today's July 1st, second. Is that July 2nd? Yeah. The game is called No Man's Sky, Micah.
I would rather you talk about Kingdoms of Valor or whatever that fucking game is that I saw you playing.
Oh, that's like a free to play game.
Yeah,
that's why I downloaded it.
I'd rather hear.
Yeah, I'm not going to talk about that. That game is kind of fun, actually. It's like it's not bad for a free to play game, but I'm going to be talking about No Man's Sky. So when that game was released, there really wasn't anything you could do, and when you finished it, which I never did because once I saw what the ending of it was, I just was like, well, this is pointless. It just showed you make it to the center of the universe. That's it. And then you just started your game. I'm looking at Micah's face right but a couple months later, they released an update for it that I still hadn't played it after that. What allowed you to, I think it allowed you to create bases. I think that was the first update. And then the second update actually gave you a full story. Like there's a full fleshed out story, which what the fuck? I'm playing through it now. I don't know what the hell is happening. But the thing is, the story kind of eases you into base creation, and you create bases, you can buy freighters, you can trade amongst the things in the city in the universe. They have vehicles. There's a bunch of stuff you can do. Like I can't really Mike is sitting there like still sounds terrible.
For those of you watching on YouTube, I know Mike is not on the main screen, but
he's not
checking out his little.
He's not amused
now. I'm doing the white person suck your lips in just.
But it's actually become it's like a survival game. Like that's what it was supposed to have been to begin with. Now that's what it is at this point.
Sounds like real estate mogul the game, because all I heard you say was you're building bases and you trade, and the story is about building bases so that you could trade.
No, the story is like you're trying to figure out why you are doing what you're doing.
Yeah. That's been the story all along for me.
You can when you buy freighters, they give you like extra space for your other ships. You can try to find like exotic ships, exotic multi-tools. I know you know what I'm talking about, Mike. I mean, Brad, you don't know what the hell a multi-tool is. Sure. Is that what it's called?
Those are Omni tools.
Yes, Omni tools.
Whatever.
Are gun / mining equipment, basically.
Right. Like, and you can use those to actually deform the terrain. You can like create your own terrain and shit with it. It's kind of wild how they allow you to do that shit.
Red Faction could do that. I'm not impressed.
Yeah, Red Faction. Anyway. Space battles are a lot better, but all of that is fine and dandy. But this month is actually coming out on Xbox One, which 2 years later, whatever. But it's a giant update, and it's actually going to have legitimate multiplayer. Like right now, it does have multiplayer. People have created bases, and you can actually go to their bases and like you can take their resources and sell them to get more money or whatever. But when you're on a planet with other people, they're just kind of orbs right now because there's like 1 billion planets in the game, like legitimately. I still don't understand how that out. I don't know how they worked all that shit out, but there's so many planets you can go to, and each one of them they're not necessarily different. They did add a lot more biomes, if you know what a biome is in video games, where the shit just looks different from planet to planet. But the multiplayer is what I want to see. I want to see how the multiplayer actually works. You can actually explore with maybe, I think they said like 6 to 8 people in a crew. You can build bases on on different planets and do space battles with other people. It's going to be interesting to see how they implement everything. But I went back to it. I'm having fun. If you tried it to begin with and it wasn't what you thought it would be, and if you're into those types of games, I would give it another shot because all of the updates were free, because they better be free because of what they fucked you over when the game first released. But look, Brad, you'll like it. If you find time, you still haven't even beaten God of War yet. But if you find time, I would put it back on to see if you like the new updates that they put.
I did play it a little bit last year after the year one update came out. So I think that was after update 2. If they had the land vehicles and game modes and stuff like that. I never disliked No Man's Sky.
Yeah,
but despite Micah's assertions to the contrary.
So when you're picking it up,
I still own it.
No, I mean picking up the controller and playing.
Oh, if I can get away from Destiny, maybe.
Well, I mean, if I could get away from Destiny by the 13th. Oh wait, I got an RPG to play on the 13th. Guess I'm going to be going to No Man's Sky for 100 hours.
I mean, I gotta play Octopath Traveler.
Yeah, and it also has like a free, just sandbox mode where you can do whatever the fuck you want. You don't have to worry about money or anything like that. You can build whatever the fuck you want, do what you want, not die. I haven't tried that mode yet, but it sounds like fun.
Like I said, I keep saying it. I'm glad No Man's Sky should go down as a cautionary tale, but also as a successful tale as a developer listening to their community.
There's another game that's done that pretty well too. What's that Ubisoft game?
For Honor? For Honor? Is that what you're referring to?
No. It came out about 2 years ago.
Or Rainbow Six is another one.
Rainbow Six Siege. Is that what it is?
Yes.
The multiplayer joint?
Yes.
Yeah, that game apparently has just blown up. Like, people love that game, and it started out like garbage, like apparently, and people love that. So yeah, there's a lot of games that they like. The developers are like, look, we know the game is good. We just need to fix some shit that we put out to begin with that didn't really job right with our customers, and they've turned those games into really good games. So this one, we'll see. I really want to play that multiplayer though to see how it works.
The fact that it's for free is good. You know what? Yeah. We will make it a point to play multiplayer. How about that?
Yeah,
when that update comes out, and then we'll get Mike in and No Man's Sky.
Is it free? Is the game free?
Oh no, the game is not free. You'd have to pay.
It might be free for like PlayStation Plus sometime, so maybe no.
No,
it should have been one of the free games this month, shouldn't it have been? That would have made a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah, with that giant update coming, yeah. So you can actually see your character on this update because there's going to be multiple people running around. So you'll actually be able to see your own what the fuck you look like
in photo mode. Like when
no, it's just going. You can see all the vehicles and shit, but you can't see what your person looks like.
I see. Very good. Well, if you are not privy to the YouTube side of things, make sure you go to youtube.com/densepixels, subscribe to the show, and hit the bell icon because we post this podcast in video format every single week. You can check it out there, and we do occasional other features on YouTube as well, including all of our E3 2018 coverage, so you can certainly check that out there. With TNP Studios, if you're not a premium member, check out densepixels.com/premium. It is just $5 a month or $50 for the entire year. You get weekly marathon episodes of the Look Forward Political podcast if you subscribe to premium content, and you also get 2.5 hours this week.
Yeah, I listened to it.
After 2.5 hours last week as well.
When the world is on fire, you got a lot to talk about.
got a lot of topics on the docket. But you also get the Men with the Golden Tongues, Micah and my own James Bond / Spy Movie Theme podcast. You get the Airing Grievances with Micah and Jay, and you get No Time to Bleed, our action movie podcast. Again, denspixels.com/premium. Try the $5. Try it for a month. I guarantee you'll be back for the 50 later on after that. And then, of course, no matter what podcatching service you use, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or any other service that does podcast delivery, if you search Dense Pixels, you can find us there. Hit subscribe. We deliver episodes to you while you sleep on Monday nights like some sort of podcast ninja. So it is free to do that. Make sure you check that out as well. It's not just a light news docket. It's a light release docket because there's like nothing coming out in stores this week. And there were no release date announcements as well. But it is a new month. So we do have new free games from both PlayStation and Xbox to talk about. From PlayStation, Heavy Rain, the Quantic Dream 2011 critically acclaimed game releases. So I think at this point now, pretty much all of their catalog that released on PS3 and PS4 was available for free. Besides, the newest
Detroit.
Yo, that game.
Did you finish it?
Yeah, I finished it. That game is a fucking problem.
Damn, really?
Wow.
It's not just a problem because it came out in this day and age. It's just a problem in general.
Nah, it's just a problem in general. Like, I like David Cage's games, but, what everybody says about him is correct. The guy is a fucking hack. He's a hacky ass writer, and he's not as good as he thinks he is. He isn't. And I don't know if it's just because I got a fucked up ending or what, but like by the end of the movie, I almost said by the end of the movie. That should tell you all you need to know about that game.
That's why I don't play those games, because they're fucking. Only one I ever finished was Heavy Rain, and I'm like, I don't even know why I did that, to be honest with you.
By the end of the game, I had this hyper militant like Jesse Williams character, right? And he's the only one that, spoiler alert, he's the only one that survived the robot revolution. And he's over there addressing everyone. And all of a sudden, the evil corporation decided that it was their plan all along to have a robot revolution. And one of the other main characters shoots Jesse Williams in the back. Meanwhile, the girl and the human child, who turns out is not a human child, but is an android. Why the fuck would you make an android child, you perverts? They are in an android concentration camp and then fucking naked and walking around being pushed to the fucking what is essentially an oven. And all right, yo. All right. You're not as smart as you think you are, yo. You're not as smart as you think you are. That fucking game, man.
Oh shit. That's
so
funny.
also available for free. Online martial arts combat game Absolver.
I want to play that.
Well, now you can play it for free starting
because it looked like it would be interesting, but I don't feel like paying for that.
Now you get to pay free $99, which is the best price to pay. So, and then Microsoft also released their games with gold this month, and
let us check it out.
Kind of a weak sauce month for Microsoft. So, available for the entire month of July is Assault Android Cactus, which I think is actually a new game.
No, it's not.
Oh no, it's been out.
It's not a new game. The game has been out for like 2-3 years.
Oh, well,
it was on PC. And I think it came out on PS4 maybe last year.
For the second half of the month into the beginning of August, you can also get Death Squared, a cooperative puzzle game, for free on the Xbox.
I think that might be new.
It's been out for a little bit as well. I'm interested to try it because it's a game my wife and I would probably like, but I haven't pulled the trigger yet. So, And then for the Xbox 360, first half of July, you can get Virtua Fighter 5 Final Showdown if you want ridiculously difficult fighting games and you like those, then you can play that. And then second half of the month, Splinter Cell Conviction, the only Splinter Cell game that I've ever completed.
Ditto. I completed it because it was essentially 24.
Yeah, it kind of was.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, yeah, I like Splinter Cell Conviction. It was cool.
It was fine. Like I said, I enjoyed it. I played a little bit of multiplayer, which was also pretty good as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's all your new stuff that's coming out. Let me throw it to Terrence with the headlines for the week.
All right, that is me. First up in headlines, PUBG decided to drop their lawsuit against Fortnite, and they didn't tell you why. They just was like, you know what? Nah, I'm good. We're good. I can tell you why, because they weren't gonna win. Like you can't. Like they use the Unreal Engine.
They did use the Unreal.
They used the Unreal Engine. Epic was like, yo, this is a cool concept. Like there's like 15 different games with the exact same concept. Were they going to sue everybody?
That's the thing. You can't copyright a game mechanic, guys.
Yeah. And I was like, no, you didn't. Like, yeah, you came up with that idea, but like, no, you can't fucking sue people for coming up with the exact same type of game. Yeah, it looks way different.
Right. I was saying, unless they're ripping off your assets specifically, which obviously, if you look at the
not even close. So they were like, yeah, we're probably not going to win. So yeah, let's just let this go.
What do you think? How do you think? What do you think the future is for PUBG? Because it's still doing pretty well.
It is. They've gone to the microtransaction model now, where they say you can actually play to collect a lot of these things, but it's one of those situations where you remember how they said it would take like 1,100 hours to unlock everything in like Battlefront or whatever, like something like it's kind of like one of those situations. So if you want to unlock the stuff, yeah, you're just gonna pay money to unlock like cosmetic things and things like that. And that's where they're making their money. Like PUBG is not free to play. That's the other thing. Like you have to pay to play PUBG. Fortnite is free. They have microtransactions, but it's a free game. Like when you have to pay $60 or however much it is for a game, and then you have microtransactions on top of that, people really don't like that shit. So the free to play model was like, okay, I'm playing this for free. I don't have to pay anything. But if I want to have these cool little assets, I'll pay $3 for it. I'll pay $4 for it. That's a little different. And I think I don't necessarily like Fortnite all that much. Like the art design is cute and all that, but it's just not for me. I like the more realistic, but PUBG is way too complicated. The H1Z1 beta came out on PlayStation 4 about a month ago. That one is a lot more simple. You just run in, you pick up guns, and you shoot shit. You don't have to like put on different scopes and things like that. But I don't like PUBG. I don't know where it's going. Like it's still got a large fan base, but Fortnite is taking over, and where they're going, I don't see them being in the top of the heap much longer. I think they're slowly declining. Slowly, they're still big, but they're slowly declining into the point where they're.
It's funny.
I don't think they're gonna be, because it was like the #1 game in the world. Like there was some crazy shit like that.
Well, it's funny because in the games industry, sea changes typically happen very slowly, but like PUBG,
it just
months ago, like a couple months ago,
right? It was like 4 or 5 months ago,
and then flip of a switch, and all of a sudden it's Fortnite.
Yeah, they panicked. That's why they were like, sue them.
Right? Like, wait, what? You know, goddamn well, you ain't about to beat us. Like, you know how much money? I don't know how much it makes, but it makes so much money. Fortnite. It's not Grand Theft Auto 5 numbers, but that shit has made $6 billion. That's.
Do you think
that's offensive? But like Fortnite makes so much money a month, it's crazy.
Do you think PUBG will ever go free to play, or no initial cost for entry?
Honestly, it probably should, because the other thing about the game is like it's not optimized for consoles. It's still not optimized for Xbox One. It still plays kind of like shit. Like you gotta like even on PC, there's still some issues. Like Fortnite, that game runs. Like it doesn't matter. It's on fucking Switch. Yeah. Like they put it on everything.
All that to write home about though.
What, on the Switch?
Yeah.
Oh well,
yeah. Apparently, like draw distance and stuff like that is not the best of them.
Yeah, well, but I mean, it's still on there. Like I couldn't imagine PUBG being put on the Switch.
Oh god,
it still does. It barely runs. I mean, you need an Xbox One X just for it to run half decent on an Xbox.
It's weird.
When it came out, they didn't optimize it at all. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
It's weird because I don't know that going free to play should be PUBG's strategy, because even though that means slower growth, I don't think that they can dine out on microtransactions the same way that Fortnite has been dining out on microtransactions, because you can, like, with a realistic shooter like that, you can only do so much. The reason that Fortnite is making money hand over fist is because since it's, you know, that
cartoon art crazy, yeah,
do all sorts of crazy shit as far as like your skin.
Thanos in it. What the fuck? Like, okay, yeah, you can't put Thanos in PUBG. Like, it'd be like Josh Brolin walking around in a goddamn suit. Like,
I would love to know, and they'll never release this information from Epic, but I want to know how many, like, the average price per user that people have spent with Fortnite so far.
I know people that play it that haven't spent a goddamn dime. They just really enjoy the game. And I know people that have spent a lot of money.
Yeah.
Just
crazy cosmetics. So
I just feel dirty spending money on a free-to-play game. I don't know, yo. Maybe it's because I'm just a cheap ass nigga. I really don't know. I don't. But then I don't want to work. I don't want to work my ass off to unlock a dance. You know. So like, what the fuck? Like, where? So I don't get as much enjoyment out of it as people who spend like hundreds of bucks. But anyway, next story. Overwatch has a new hero, and it is a little hamster in a mech.
Rodent.
That's cute. Look at him. Look at his face. He's a rat.
No, it's a rodent.
He's a hamster in a hamster wheel, in a mechanized hamster wheel.
It's a rodent on a treadmill.
And it's got guns and shit. It's like a spider bot. I don't like that. But it only got 4 legs.
Its name is Wrecking Ball.
Yeah.
Gross.
When does it come out?
It's already out in the PTR.
Yeah.
On PC.
Like, when does it come out to?
Probably a month or so. That's usually how
they are. Man, this is another one of those games. Yeah, this one. What's the game? $60. Then this is another game where they have the loot boxes you can pay to unlock stuff but you can just play it for 1,000 hours and unlock everything as well.
This is the one game that I feel the most FOMO for out of anything else. Like Fortnite, I don't feel like I'm missing anything. PUBG, whatever. Overwatch, I feel like I'm missing out on something by not playing it.
I haven't played it in almost a year.
Oh,
to be honest with you.
Well, like the last time I played was probably a year ago too, and I mean, all told, I've probably invested maybe like 10 hours into it altogether.
Oh, I put way more time into that. I put way more time than 10 hours into Overwatch. But I just kind of
less.
I probably put damn near 100. Yeah,
wow. I mean, look, as much. You got your money's worth.
Yeah, absolutely. But I haven't, and that's the crazy part is I haven't even played the new characters. Like they've had like four more characters come out since the last time I played the goddamn game, or maybe 3. So yeah, I put a lot of time into the game. It's a great game, man. And they just keep putting out. Yeah, they're good.
All these characters are free.
Blizzard. Yeah, you don't have to pay for shit.
All you pay for with Overwatch is just loot boxes, which is just cosmetics.
Like little skins and body, like what is it? Skins and emotes and shit like that. That you can
things, yeah, colors and all that other crap.
Yeah.
Never understood paying for skins in a first-person shooter.
Well, you see the gun, see the person.
Well, I guess it's more just to get people to see when people are looking at you, I guess.
Yeah.
I feel some kind of way when somebody puts a bullet in my head with a rainbow colored gun. I'm like, yo, that's fucked up. You're playing Gears of War, and they have like crazy gun skins that are like $5 a piece. I'm niggas wilding on that shit. I can't imagine paying $5 for a gun skin. You better get out of my face. But Overwatch, yeah, a new hamster.
A
rodent
rodent
to be the new. Oh my god, yeah. And last up in headlines, Amy Hennig Let me bring this up. Oh, well, she's the Uncharted director. Amy Hennig no longer at EA.
And apparently
she was supposed to be designing a Star Wars game for EA.
Well,
so
she went over to work with Visceral Studios, which famously got shuttered last year. Apparently, she hasn't been at EA for 6 months, and nobody said anything about it.
Wow,
her included.
Yeah.
So yes, very, very strange. Man, talk about one of the worst career decisions, I guess, of all time. The way it panned out.
Yeah, don't go to EA. Is the moral of the story. Like, I feel like if EA seems to be like a death wish for people. I don't understand. What does EA have at this point?
They have what?
They have Battlefield,
Sports,
Madden,
and Battlefield,
Bioware.
What the fuck else?
And Bioware. Yeah,
and Bioware better come out with the game that they're coming out with. Better be amazing.
I hope so.
Because I mean, if it's not, what do you got?
I pre-ordered the $80 edition.
So did I.
Really hope it's good.
When is it coming out? When's the release date? Do you even know?
February.
February 22nd, I think.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
It is. No, it definitely.
It is now.
Trust me. If EA does anything better than anybody else, it's rush out the release of Bioware games. So whether it's coming out February 22nd.
Like it's coming out whether it's good or not.
That's what happened with Mass Effect Andromeda. That shit wasn't ready. They're like, we're putting it out. We're putting it out there. We'll fix it later. The fans will still have our back. They did not.
Yeah. So yeah, look. Okay.
I mean, this news isn't surprising. It's just surprising that nobody said anything about it for 6 months.
For half a year. Yeah, that's a little weird. So what is she doing? She just like in limbo? Where's she at?
She apparently has formed her own small studio.
If it's not called something like related to Mr. Perfect, the Perfect Studio or something like that, Perfectplex Productions or something like that, I'm going to be really upset.
Perfect Axe Studios. You can
there you go.
Into the mix.
Wow. And the funny thing is, I knew exactly what you were going to say before you even said it. I hope she puts out a solid, a decent. It's probably going to be an indie game, but I hope it's good because,
There you go. What if Amy Hennig were going to work for Quantic Dream?
Let her write it.
I would be amazed. She would have to say, she would have to just come in and take over. It would have to be a hostile takeover from Amy Hennig herself. And then, because I believe she wouldn't work for Quantic Dream because of all the bullshit ass childlike metaphors for race relations. And I like to think that she's a bit smarter than that. And even if she isn't, like, I believe that she could craft a better told story. I mean, Jesus Christ.
So you're saying she'd have to battle inside of David Cage's company?
Yes.
Fight in a cage match of sorts?
Yes.
Shut up. Oh my God.
I mean, Hennings know what it's like to fight against Cage, so I mean, it's fine.
I mean, she could just call it the B team, and I would be happy.
B Team Studios would actually be really good. Before we move on to top stories, I just have to ask you guys if you saw, because I know Terrence, you're up and down with wrestling, and Mike, I don't know how much you watch the weekly shows, but if you do get a chance to watch the promo that Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas cut as Matt Hardy and then you should definitely do that. Unsurprisingly, for whatever reason, Bo Dallas does an amazing Bray Wyatt impersonation.
Yeah,
I wonder why.
It's almost as if those guys were related of some sort.
And like I said, Curtis Axel's Matt Hardy also not bad.
Yeah, I did see that. That was funny. I like those two, man. They're a good comedy. They're a good comedy team. Too bad the tag team division is terrible there. Like they're not doing anything with it.
No.
It's who are the tag team champions?
Because I love
Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
What show?
On Raw.
The main show.
The Leader of Worlds. It's actually a really good tag team name.
Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't watched wrestling in I don't even know how long. I don't even think I saw
the last.
What was the last? Yeah, I didn't see Money in the Bank. Oh, I haven't seen it. Yeah, it's been months since I've watched wrestling.
Well, that's it for headlines. Before we move to top stories, just a reminder, go to densepixels.com/Amazon whenever you make any purchases on Amazon, big or small. You will pay the same low price, but we will get a small percentage of the sales, which we use to pay for things like hosting fees and equipment. So again, densepixels.com/Amazon. Thank you to all of you who use our Amazon link. And try it out if you haven't done it yet. It's super easy and it helps support your favorite video game podcast.
I got a fever, and the only prescription is more World Cup, because World Cup Mania is happening right now. We got a lot of foreign people at my job, right? And I heard all this commotion the other day, and so I go over there and I sit in the back and I signify, right? Like, what they doing over there? And this Korean dude was happy, and this Mexican dude was happy. I'm like, what are they happy about? Apparently, who beat Germany? South Korea beat Germany?
Korea beat Germany, which allowed Mexico to advance into the knockout round of the tournament.
Yeah.
Which they would not have done without that.
And a bunch of Mexican people were buying tequila shots for all the Koreans. And I'm like, wow, this is look at the rest of the world just loving life. And we're over here rounding people up.
It has been a good World Cup. It has.
I didn't even know the World Cup was happening.
Oh well, I
really
didn't. Surprised about that. But yeah, it's been entertaining. It's been unexpected. A lot of top teams either did not make it into the knockout round or got knocked out early. Like Germany's gone, Spain is gone, Argentina's gone. These are all surprises.
Where's the U.S.?
Didn't qualify in the first place. Despite arguably being in the easiest region to qualify from, but that's okay.
Boy, what a metaphor for life.
It truly is. Here's a fact unrelated to nothing at all, but while Barack Obama was president, U.S. never failed to qualify for a World Cup. This is also true for George W. Bush, by the way. This is not a political, this is not a partisan thing. I'm just saying.
Yes, it is.
It's a competency thing.
True, yes.
Like, they ain't even trying. They're like, what's the fucking point? Everyone hates us already. We're a bunch of fucking losers. Why try?
Oh, man. Well, I bring up soccer because our next story is all about soccer. EA, who does the FIFA series, is now going to reveal the odds for getting rare players in their ultimate team modes. Daryl Holt, the chief operating officer for EA Sports, is quoted as saying that FIFA will show the chances of winning certain types of items, players, and other items within Ultimate Team, whose objective is to assemble a highly rated fantasy sports squad. Basically, are usually classified as bronze, silver, and gold, but now they're going to give you odds when you open your deck of cards. So I have a question for you, Brad, because you play this.
Mm-hmm.
Is this going to make a difference? Like, is this going to deter you from buying or using real money to buy fake money to buy these cards?
So it depends. It depends on how transparent they are. They have different packs, right? And usually they'll tell you on the pack what you're going to get. So let's say you buy like what's called a premium gold pack. Yeah. So a premium gold pack has 12 cards. And you know that half of those cards are going to be players and half of them are going to be other types of consumables that you can use, like stadiums or power-ups and things like that. And they tell you on the outside of the pack that 3 of the cards in the pack that you open will be of rare quality. Now, you don't know whether they'll be players or consumables that'll be rare, because they have rarity for both things. But you also have to realize that within the rare player category, there are other sub-tiers as well. It's not like that, you know, a Messi card drops at the same drop rate as a player who might be rare, but he's like a 78 overall. Right. So like Messi doesn't come out nearly as often as that other player does. They also have other types called, like, you know, they have like team of the week, like special edition players, like team of the week players or team of the season, stuff like that, that are also more rare than just a simple rare card. So if they're going to actually go on the breakdown and be like, hey, you have a, you know, 0.001% chance to get a team of the week card in this pack, then yes, that's good. And maybe it will, if you play Ultimate Team a lot, like, you kind of know the frequency of drop rates. And spoiler alert, the Ultimate Team players don't typically buy a lot of packs, because that's kind of a waste of money to do that. Because again, you're going to get much better conversion by selling your best players to get coins than buying individual players in the little auction thing. That's a better use of your time. So it might deter some people that are dumb and don't realize that, you know, you could open 200 packs and probably not get a Messi. Like, you probably will not get a Messi card in 200 packs that you open. So if they're going to be that transparent as far as, you know, here are the odds that you'll get a 90 plus rated player, then that's good. If they're just going to be like, hey, here's the odds that you just get a rare player, that doesn't really change anything, honestly. So,
why are they allowed to get away with this? These Ultimate Team pack things.
Well, because what are you buying essentially?
What for these? It was cards, right?
Right, they're trading cards. It's no different than a baseball card company. Like, they're like, in baseball card series, there are ultra rare like baseball cards that are worth a lot of money that they only make, like, let's say 5,000 of in a printing, and so your odds of getting those are super, super low. But, you know, it is what it is.
I never saw anything wrong with the Ultimate Team format as far as, you know, I knew about it. You know, I don't play these games, so I don't have like an extensive knowledge of it. But what I do know is that you can use in-game currency, which can be earned in-game, and it's a collectible card thing, right? Like, it's not like Battlefront where you need these to kind of progress.
Well, so you could make the argument that you do need really good players to progress through Ultimate Team, because you do, obviously, like, if you go online with a squad that's, you know, like a 79 rating overall, and you run up against a squad that's like an 87 rating overall, assuming the skill levels are somewhat equivalent, you're probably going to get rolled, most likely. So, like, if you want to get into the upper echelon of competitive play, it's some combination of both skill and luck, because you do need good players. But I've never had a particular issue with the Ultimate Team business model. More transparency is good. And I do think that the one issue that they could have fixed in past years was transparency of what you get in these packs, because even though they, like I said, they do detail what type of cards are in there, they don't do a good job of explaining, hey, it's actually really hard to get these ultra rare cards that you're gunning for.
According to Eurogamer, notes that Holt's statement doesn't mean the odds of getting a specific player will be disclosed, nor is it certain that a pack odds disclosure would even go so far as to say what the chances are getting a player within a certain range or ratings would be.
Well, then they're really not.
Yeah, they're not really doing anything then, right? Like, it just feels like hey, look at what we're doing, but you're not. I don't see the benefit.
Well, again, I'll put it to you this way: anyone that plays these modes seriously already is pretty aware of these drop rates.
Yeah,
for the most part.
EA says that this is going to apply to every Ultimate Team game, every game that has an Ultimate Team offering in their game. So Madden, NHL, Live.
That's still a thing. Oh, they did come. They did really release it.
Live is still a thing.
That's right. They came out with one last year. I forgot about that.
Yep.
Everybody else.
Yeah. Well, they keep trying.
They keep trying. Next up, I would like to say that these are rumors. These are rumors.
God damn it.
Take them.
You wait the entire episode for that?
Take them with a grain of salt. But there are rumors that Google still trying to get into the video game business, even so much so as to have a gaming platform. Now, what this website is saying they heard is that Google's video game plans have a three-pronged approach. Step one, some sort of streaming platform. Step two, some sort of, well, not necessarily step, but pillar number two, some sort of hardware. And pillar number three, an attempt to bring game developers under the Google umbrella, whether they want to or not. I mean, that's what that is, right?
I mean, to me, that's arguably the most intriguing aspect of the story, that apparently they're not just trying to get developers to publish games on their service, but just to buy the studios outright.
They're going to make you do it.
But that would be crazy, wouldn't it? Like, what if, just for example, Google was like, hey, CD Projekt Red, here's a king's ransom to acquire your studio, so that way that Witcher 4 will only be published on the Google console, Google station. That would be crazy.
That would be crazy. And I don't know if I would like it. So I mean, I would have to get another goddamn console. Google has been exploring video game initiatives for most of the decade. In 2014, the company was reportedly poised to acquire Twitch before Amazon swooped in. Rumors percolated for years that Google was also attempting to launch an Android-based console similar to Amazon's Fire TV, but that didn't happen. In 2016, the Google incubated studio Niantic scored one of the biggest game successes of the last decade with Pokemon Go to the polls, but it had spun out into an independent company the year before. And Google has a long history of hiring game developers for projects that never quite materialize. The rumors go on to say that they are interested in a streaming platform, which they have codenamed Yeti. And essentially what the streaming platform would do would be to let all the eggheads over at Google and their big boxes of parts and computing and all that, they would process the games, and then the games would be streamed to your computer or television or Chromecast or whatever. This article goes on to say that while this does sound like something that's too good to be true, it also sounds like OnLive, the streaming game service that came out in 2010, I think. That
OnLive, goddamn.
yeah, kind of crashed and burned. But they had like a good 5 years of work, according to their now defunct website. After 5 years of uninterrupted service, OnLive has come to an end. What do you think of this? Is this something that are you ready for another player in the game?
Do you think that they are going to be a serious competitor?
I think they could be a serious competitor. They've got enough money to be a serious competitor, but I think they would have to. I think not right away, of course. This ain't like starting the XFL. This takes a little more time. But I think they could rival Steam.
Yeah, I was about to say it would
let that happen. That would be awesome if that was the case. I mean, so we have to mention the big caveat with this is that if you're creating a platform that is very stream heavy, even if they do have hardware, I would imagine that most of the, a lot of the content will still be streamable. We don't have net neutrality anymore, guys. So enjoy your bandwidth caps. Because you're a Comcast customer, I'm sure you're not enjoying life very much right now. And that's just going to get worse and worse as time goes along, right?
Yeah. Didn't Capcom, didn't Comcast have like a nationwide shutdown a couple of days ago?
Yes, they did, because somebody over at Comcast ran their lawnmower over the fucking fiber optic cable, the one fiber optic cable that links every fucking, that goes everywhere. No fucking safeguards anywhere. You blow a fuse over at Comcast, you're done, son. Quick, somebody go to Walmart and get a fucking 10 amp fuse.
Oh, you guys didn't have internet this past weekend? Fios was working great.
No, how long was it out?
It was out for the majority of the day. It was out for like 6 hours. They got it up and running at the end of before the end of the day, because I remember it was a Friday. It was last Friday.
Yeah, it was like I saw.
And I told my wife, and I'm like, "Yeah, we're gonna have to go outside." Like, oh, all right. Yeah. And I'm like, "Oh, but do you want to go outside?" She was like, "Well, we can go see a movie." Like, okay, I'll go see a movie then. There you go.
Wow.
But yeah, it's hard to imagine someone else getting into the space at this point. You know what I mean? I guess it would take a company like Google or Apple to be that company, since they would have the financial resources to do it. But it also strikes me as Google. So Google has a lot of hobbies. And there's some stuff that they've done that has worked out really well. But there's also a lot of stuff that they've invested money into that hasn't. Do we remember Google Glass? Which was supposed to be everyone wearing face, basically, and
everybody's supposed to look like Geordie LaForge,
right? And Waze and things of that nature. So like Google is just because they're spending a lot of money doesn't mean that they're going to be in the space for a long time, because they have thrown lots of money at stuff in the past and it just didn't take off. And they're just like, we're Google. We don't care about
this. Isn't like Google's not synonymous with video games. And I don't think at this point, like it would take years for them to become like, hey, we're in the game space. We got this console, the Google console. Like I'm not buying a Google console because it's called a Google console just off of GP. Like it could be amazing. I'm like, yo, this Google console is sick. I'm like, it's Google, yo. I don't trust them. Like it's gonna take a lot of people to be like, yo, this is kind of hot. And it's all about the games, right?
I mean, at the same token, right? Like, did anybody think that the company that was known for making TVs would be into the video game space?
Yeah, but it was a different era because because they were first into that generation of gaming.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? Because like they were around. They were the first mainstream 32-bit console. Actually, no. Technically, this Saturn would have been because
like
I watched it. But
at the same token, did anybody think that the Windows PC thing would be like? But you make computers. Why would you want to make a dedicated gaming console?
Yeah, Microsoft.
But again, there was an opening in the marketplace for them. at that point, because Sega was on the way out by the time the Xbox came around, and Sony needed a competitor. So because of great timing, they were able to slide in, because Nintendo still kind of operates.
Yeah, they do.
Always has operated on their own way.
They're the weird kid that plays over in the corner by themselves.
But let's just say, for example, because if they come out with hardware, it's going to be, rumored to be on par with the current offerings out there. So let's say a Google console comes out and it costs, $350. How many people are actually running out and getting that on day one?
Yeah,
Google console? Nobody. Like, there will be some early adopters because, for whatever reason, I don't know, but it's going to have to be the games is what's going to be important. I mean, if they have the same games that a PlayStation or Microsoft or Xbox has, and they run just as good, I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter. But then you got to go to the infrastructure. Like, how is the online going to be? Like, how easy is it going to be to connect with your friends, which there probably won't be any of them because they're not going to have the system just yet.
Well, but that's why the game studio acquisition part of it is the most interesting conversation. I think if they are going to get into this market, like you said, it's about the game. So if they can get some high profile studios and all of a sudden those games are exclusive to the Google station, then I think they might have a shot at it.
Yeah.
But I think that's what it would require. I don't think you can kind of dip your toe into this. I think you have to make a decision to go, full bore, and that costs a lot of money up front. And that's a bit of a gamble.
The money that they have,
they do.
Thank you for pronouncing that term properly. It is full bore, not full board. Full board
is full
breakfast. Full bore means full speed ahead.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just a PSA to anybody that might need it.
But yes, Google, if they do invest wisely, could have the penultimate
shit. On the market. No, exactly. As soon as you said it out, like, look, some of us will understand 100% what you That's funny.
What I don't understand is if their three-pronged approach, the streaming platform, the hardware, and the hostile takeover. I get the hostile takeover. They're a big fucking company. And if they want something, they will do it. The hardware and the streaming platform is what I'm kind of slow on the uptake on. Like, do you want your stream? Do you want your the whole idea of the streaming platform was to not necessarily need a specific streaming device, right? Or
you kind of get the best of both worlds, don't you? Because you get people that can try your service without needing to invest heavily in the hardware. I guess the hardware is more for ownership of games. Because I mean, if you have the hardware, then you don't have to stream, right? Like, you can buy a game from the Google Play game store and download it onto your Google station, and then you don't have to worry about the streaming part of it. Or I guess you can have the option to stream if memory. Maybe that's how they can make it cheaper, is by having very low onboard memory and just streaming everything. I think we're going to hear a lot about this next year. I just don't know what that's going to look like.
Oh, yeah, I don't know,
but we'll see. Like I said, if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be them or Apple. So.
Yeah, it would be really, really frustrating if I didn't buy another console.
Well, I mean, in theory, you can still keep the balance because it's not like you need to buy an Xbox anymore.
I'm telling you, man, I'm gonna have to buy the next one because something is gonna come out. Like they flip flop, man. They flip flop. They always have. And I'm telling you, Microsoft is going to come out and they're going to be like, fucking Phil is going to come out all buttoned up with a fucking blazer on, right? And you just be like, we realize that we kind of dropped the ball, but now
no neck having ass neck.
But now look at us, we got a ton of games.
Like he ran into a fucking glass door and got stuck. And he just looks weird.
So there you go. That's it for top stories.
So, question of the week. There actually the past couple months has been quite a few new games coming out, and good thing because we're about to hit the summer swoon. Because for the next 2 months, outside of Madden, there ain't shit.
Oh, Madden.
So, we don't even care about that. So,
right.
Bringing back our 2-sentence reviews, because I always think these go really well. So give us a 2-sentence review or commentary of a game, new or old, that you've been playing lately. Cam says, boy. I guess he's been playing some God of War. Jack says, just started Nier. Is it Automata or Automata? Can we get a definitive pronunciation?
I say Automata.
Automata.
All right. Nier Automata on my poor Xbox One X, because there's shit else to play on that system. It's low-key kind of amazing.
It is.
It's a very good game. I am on my I don't even know if I can consider a second playthrough, because the way the game is designed, you beat it and then you I don't know if that's a spoiler or not, but my second or third playthrough.
Yeah, it's meant to be played multiple times.
Yeah. It's pretty wild. Like, yeah. Good on us for bringing it on Xbox, because they ain't got shit else. You gotta see it. I
feel like it's one of those games that with Jack's excluded. I feel like it's one of those games that most folks that cared about it would have had it by now anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, that's that. Amir says, you've seen all my posts on densepixels.com/fans. Check out. He's been playing Hollow Knight, a game that I now really want to check out because everyone says it's amazing. So, but again, it's finding time. Carrie says, I like Mario Tennis Aces, but Adventure Mode has a whole lot of bullshit going on. I'm not a fan of it. Please just let me go up the mountain, you shithead shy guys. I swear to fuck. I'm also stuck there as well in Adventure Mode.
I quit Adventure
Don't
Mode.
Even bother playing it. Don't even bother Adventure Mode. Just play online and enjoy yourself. That's how to enjoy Mario Tennis Aces. Terrell says, been playing a lot of Dragon Ball and Mario Tennis Aces. Eric says, a Sonic game that isn't trash. Sonic Mania for the Switch. I don't believe you.
Oh, man.
I don't believe you. Stuart says, Call of Duty World War II story mode, just from a loan of the game. It's fine, even if I wish there had been more playing as French Resistance or some playing as the OSS instead of America. Well, you're never going to see a non-American World War II game because dumb Americans won't play it unless the old US. Trey says Mario Tennis Aces is release day Street Fighter V, and can we change this game's title to Legend of Urbosa Breath of the Wild, because Ganon has to die for what he did. I must not have gotten that far.
Must be in adventure mode.
Yeah. William says, I've been playing Assault Android Cactus, which is surprisingly very fun. A stupid ass name for a game, though.
Yo, I gotta see what this is.
It's a twin stick shooter.
Ah, well, those are.
Yeah, okay. There it is. I've seen this before. For some reason, the name just didn't register.
Yeah, because it's a stupid ass name for a game.
Mark says playing God of War got to be the best of the lot. Fuck the Valkyries.
Yeah, I still haven't finished. I still haven't beaten the Valkyries yet.
Brandon says Horizon Zero Dawn, super fun and scratched my Breath of the Wild itch. Henry says just started Destiny 3 on PlayStation 3. Remember, I'm on that school psychologist paying back student loans financial plan. It took a while to get a feel for the game and figure out what was going on, but after the first 2 missions, the controls felt natural and the plot made sense.
I don't believe you.
This game is truly Halo for the rest of us who didn't get to experience Halo.
That game has no plot.
Oh, it's there. It's very thin in the game itself.
Okay.
Has more of a plot than No Man's Sky. I tell you that bullshit.
You're not wrong about that. Even the story mode that's in the game is not.
It's like, hey, I'm stuck on a planet that I don't know where the fuck I'm at. Help me, please. And you're just kind of like running around, and then you're like, hey, do you want? And then the other guy's like, hey, you want to create a base? Like, sure. Well, first of all, you're gonna have to do a bunch of fetch quests for me so you can figure out what the fuck to do with this base. That's it. But I got a base though. And I can drive in cars.
For some reason, I could just picture Kanye West saying something like that. But I got a base though. Like, what? What?
Johnny says, finally got around to playing Zelda Hyrule Warriors, and it's fine. Almost feels like a greatest hits collection with lots of pandering, which is cool. And then he wants to ask you two, does Sonic Fox winning tournaments count as black excellence, or is all that null and void because he's a furry?
I'm not going to deny his blackness just because he's a weirdo. You know, you're into what you're into, I guess.
Yeah,
Takes
like
all kinds to make a world, so.
They say don't kink shame. Look, I don't understand that shit at all. Like, look, the dude is good. He's like 18 years old now. The fuck? Ain't 20. Yeah. So yeah, whatever.
Putting a foxtail up your asshole, just got a thing wagging back there. Like, that's. I'm sorry, yo, that's weird.
Like, he's just wearing like the full ass costume now. He got like the head and everything. Like,
but look, I'm old. I'm old. I don't know what the young people are.
Young people. Yeah. Again, look, I guess it is, and he's very good at a lot of different games, and it kind of makes me mad. He's so goddamn good. Like, it's ridiculous how good he is. He got lit up this past weekend though, because people downloaded his shit, figured him out. So yeah, I guess I consider that black excellence. Fine.
Yeah, got a month to get himself straight. So
yeah,
there you go. No, he's good. He's good.
Adam says, I love Farming Simulator 2018. Thanks for a movable character as opposed to controlling vehicles. Or sorry, he says he meant pure farming 2018.
Excellent.
So, apparently you can have a movable avatar now. Because I've seen screenshots of the older farming games, and it's literally just like, I'm going to plow the field down. You get into a tractor and plow the field.
That just does not sound like fun. But then again, I did play Stardew Valley. But they made that fun.
I mean, people play Farmville like crazy.
Yeah, I don't get it.
So. There's definitely money in monotony. That is folks with games. Roderick says XCOM 2, reinforcing that narrative that the only good alien is a dead alien, just like Ripley taught us. Randy says, because I just bought my PS4 a year ago, the games are all new to me. Horizon Zero Dawn and Everybody's Golf, aka Hot Shots Golf 4. Yes, Everybody's Golf is a fantastic golf game.
Everybody's Golf.
Mm-hmm. It's just Hot Shots. It's been called Everybody's Golf in Japan forever. Like Hot Shots was the US name, and then they just decided to go with universal branding.
How much is it? I like Hot Shots Golf.
When it came out, it was $40. It might be cheaper now because it's been out for almost a year. So, and there's a lot to do in that game, by the way, a whole lot to do. Because I played it a fair amount when it came out last year, and I still haven't even unlocked all the courses in the game. Not that there's a lot of courses, but it's just that it takes a long time to get stuff unlocked. So, Mark. I'll go his full name because A, it's probably not his real last name, and B, Micah will appreciate it. Mark Von Doom said, "No Man's Sky, fight me."
I can never disagree with a man whose last name is of Doom. So no, I'm not going to fight you. I'm not going to fight you. I'm not going to agree with you, based purely out of ignorance because I've never played the game. But I do like your last name.
And finally, Ken says, Darkest Dungeon, never played a game before where my entire party died of heart attacks.
Wow.
I guess that's a thing that can happen in the dark.
Oh, is that like that fucking like Souls type?
It's not a Souls type game. It is.
I know it's a side scroller.
Difficult though.
Yeah.
but yeah, I remember I thought about picking this up a while back because it looked cool. And then I heard like how difficult the game was, and I'm like, you know what? I don't really need that in my life. I don't think. So I passed on that. Probably good because, like I said, I don't need that much frustration.
Get had a heart attack. What the fuck? I'm like, you know what? Yo, fuck off. Like, you know, my entire goddamn phone.
I guess.
Like, really? Yeah. You all died of dysentery. All right. That's fine. Thanks.
So that is question of the week. So thank you very much for all of your responses, and that is our show. So again, don't forget to check out our fan group on Facebook, densepixels.com/fans. Leave us a 5-star review on iTunes, which we read on the air if it's 5 stars. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast on whatever podcatcher you're using, and then we are all on Twitch TV. I am Dense Pixels Brad. Terrence is Apparition 410. Micah is Dense Black Nerd, and Carrie is Suffix Carrie. But yes, that is it for us this week. We will be back with you all next week. Until then, see you.
See you. Take it easy.
Watching the Dense Pixels YouTube channel, click the subscribe button while you're here, and make sure you check out our weekly podcast where we discuss the latest gaming news and our impressions on what games we've been playing.